the one issue that kept us on our toes in the last T20 international, we briefly mentioned it on the show, the concussion substitute, Yuzvendra Chahal coming in from Ravindra Jadeja. We've all talked about it. Let's hear about it from the opposition so we can get a little bit more on it. This is Moises Henriques.
The like for like, from my point of view, it would definitely be that one's an all-rounder and a gun fielder, and the other one's just an out-and-out bowler who bats 11. So that's the only thing from my point of view. It had nothing to do with, for the question that I asked, has nothing to do with his hammy. It actually, I guess I'd like to look into whether, that's a like for like decision, so to speak. I think the concussion rule's fine. If a player gets hit on the helmet and the doctor thinks he's concussed, 100% he needs to be replaced. There's no doubt. It's just whether it's like for like. That's the only thing for me. Whether the players like it or not, concussion players can be replaced, no doubt about it. It's just, I guess, in terms of moving forward and trying to make the game as fair as possible for everybody. I think, like for like replacements are probably the way to go.
Interesting new perspective given by Moses there. We maybe touched upon it in the last game about who replaces who and how the entire system works. So he's not questioning the injuries or the medical doctor's opinion or any of that. He's just saying, fine, concussion happened, hamstring happened. I'm not bothered about that. But the like for like replacement, a gun fielder, that's what the replacement that he's talking about. Zaheer?
Well, if India had a like to like replacement for Jadeja, he would have been part of playing 11. That's the way I look at it. He would have been good enough to fit into the playing 11. He wouldn't have been sitting in the substitute bench. But I think the match referee decides who is going to be the concussion sub. So obviously they didn't have the like to like replacement for Ravindra Jadeja. So you have to go for the next discipline, and Jadeja's role primarily is as a bowler. And that's how he got replaced by Chahal, because that's the only option which was available in the reserves, and that's how the rule works. I think it's something which everyone needs to understand. And if it was the case, if something had happened of this sort, like a concussion injury to Ravindra Jadeja while Indian team was fielding, and then they had to bat later, it still would have been Chahal. And that would have been the discussion completely different, saying that Chahal is not exactly like to like replacement, but India would have to live with that. So I think that's something is the nature of the rule, and the good part here is the neutral body decides who is going to be the concussion sub, and in this case it was match referee. So I don't think these kind of questions are up for debate in this scenario.
Yeah, the interesting one, Michael, would have been had India been about to bat later, and in which case, obviously, Chahal's batting abilities are not what you want to bring on. Then, would India have been able to push for a batsman to be a replacement? Because Jadeja also bats. He bats pretty well. So could you have gotten a Shreyas Iyer, for example?
I'm not too sure. I thought you were supposed to write your replacements down before the game, but I'm not too sure what happened in Canberra. Very difficult to replace Jadeja. As Zach said, it's quite obvious if you have a replacement, he would be in the side. I didn't quite get Moses' point about the fielding, because Jadeja's India's best fielder, so they were going to be missing his potentially 5 to 7 runs that he stops in the field. He obviously was going to bowl his 4 overs of spin, and they replaced him with someone that could bowl 4 overs of spin. So, I think you can always point the finger at these concussion kind of replacements and question either way, is it fair or not? They're the rules. India didn't break the rules. They went with the rules of the game. David Boone was a match referee. He officiated it in the right fashion. I think Virat Kohli said after the game, they just got a bit lucky with the concussion replacement today. It worked in their favour. In time, it'll work against India. It's just the nature of the beast of the concussion replacements. It's good for the game. It's important that it stays in the game. And there's going to be situations and times where it goes with you, as it did for India in Canberra, and against you, as it did for Australia in Canberra. But over time, it'll level itself out.
Yeah, again, we remind you of that scenario in the day-night test match for Bangladesh when they didn't have any like-for-like replacements when Liton Das was injured. Mehdi Hasan Miraj had to come into the side, but because he was supposed to be a like-for-like replacement, all he was allowed to do was bat as and when he got the chance. He was not allowed to bowl because we know he's a bowler. But he came in for a batsman, he was not allowed to bowl. So that's how it goes if you don't have a like-for-like replacement.